Yeah. What is up, everyone? What's going on? Welcome to another edition of What's Happening, Poppitt's Corner Razor Radio. And we got a doozy for you today. We said that we would do this eventually. Last time obviously we did our top favorites, from the 80s slash early 90s that weren't from the Bay Area slash associated with the Bay Area. So I figured, and Miss Emily agrees with me, that we would now show the Bay Area and bands associated with the Bay Area. So I'm going to preference this by saying a couple of mine aren't technically from the Bay Area, but they're just heavily associated with it, and I got nowhere else to put them. So anyway, how have you been, Emily, before we get started?
I'm doing great, man. Having a great, I almost said Monday, but it's Tuesday. How's your day going?
It's almost Monday. It's a little late, but it's almost Monday. I'm doing good. I'm just hanging in there. Coming off of my week of not feeling so well, but I'm fresh and feeling great, and I'm looking forward to talking some vinyl. So that is why we did not do a episode last week. So we're making up for it. We might do 2 this week. Who knows? So
never know.
That's right. But yeah, I'll have you start this time.
Okay. Like we say, we don't rank these from the best, our favorite to the least, but I'm just gonna throw this out there now, so then it's out there because I have a feeling you picked this one, and I'd rather beat you now than later. I picked Master of Puppets.
Oh my god!
Came out in 1986, last release with Cliff. I read some funny facts when I was doing my research. It says Lars Ulrich took lessons for this record, and Kurt Hammett worked on learning stuff from Joe Satriani. And then another cool fact I learned is Lars went to Geddy Lee to produce this record, but it just didn't work out because of their schedules. I thought that was fucking cool. I was like,
that is true. Yeah, Geddy Lee was supposed to. Yeah, he was. That would have been a very different record, in my opinion.
I know, right?
It wouldn't have been. No offense, it probably wouldn't have been as good.
It'd probably be kind of rushy a little bit.
Well, not even that. The production is perfect on that album. That album is just.
Oh yeah, I agree, man. This is a phenomenal record from start to finish. You can listen. You don't have to be like, man, I have to skip track 6 because it sucks. This record you can listen to from start to finish, no problems.
But every note is perfect. That's the problem with it. Every note, not just every song. Every fucking note is just it's money. So yeah, of course that's in my list. Come on.
I know. I wanted to kick your ass a little bit and be like, I'm showing it first. So then I'd be dude.
Well, those are fun facts. I have some more fun facts on that record too, which we'll get into.
I know you do. That's why I wanted to show it first so I could get my little fun fact about Geddy Lee out of the way.
All right. So this is the record I always think of when it comes to the Bay Area, and it should be no surprise to everyone watching. It should be no surprise to even you, Miss DJ Mermaid. I mean, come on. Do I have to say it? Exodus, Bonded by Blood. I mean, it's just every time I hear Bay Area thrash, I mean, this is the one record that comes to mind, and maybe because it has Paul Bailoff and I mean, you can't get more metal than that. To me, one of the greatest frontmen ever.
Oh, I agree.
So the sad fact that this is his only full-length record, besides if you count the live record and demos and whatnot, but this is really his only his only full length, and that kind of sucks because to me he's one of the best. And his sheer attack on the vocals, I can't stress how important this record is in my upbringing. So of course, I'm going to go to my go-to when it comes to Bay Area thrash, and should be no surprise. This album was actually recorded, I think, in 84 or 83, and it didn't come out until almost a year later. So
I have it as it came out in 85.
Right, but it was recorded, I think, in 84.
Yeah, it was recorded that's what when I looked at it, I was like, dude, they recorded it and they took forever to release it.
Well, and it had something to do with a label. Oh. It was the label wanted to wait or something. I'm sure Andy Ford will be in here and fucking school me on everything, but
this is probably his department for thrash metal. He'll school both of us later. You guys forgot to mention this stuff about the records.
I'm sure he's jizzing already. We're talking about Bay Area metal, but there you go. So, Exodus, Bond of My Blood. Come on. And, well, I'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Well, this is where I'm gonna say touche because you just basically got me back for what I did to you.
Oh.
Okay. So the next record I'm gonna show, the Legacy.
Oh yes.
I had to because, dude, this is their debut record.
That's a great album.
Oh, dude, from start to finish. This was always my favorite Testament record. And the fun thing is, as you know, I'm a colored vinyl person. I don't think it shows up, but it's green.
It looks black.
I swear it's green, dude.
Stop holding the vinyl like that. That freaks me out. You never put your fingers on the grooves. You're like damaging the record.
I have it on the outside. What? Scaring you? But yeah, it's their debut record. Everything I think on this record kills. First Strike and the Deadly, Raging Waters, Do or Die, Alone in the Dark, Over the Wall, all of it,
Apocalyptic City. Oh yeah, I love that record.
I was listening to this before we came on. I'm like, fuck, I'm glad I picked this record, man.
And I don't own it, unfortunately. I don't own that one, and I'm sure one that I'm sure is in your collection that I don't own. So, great choice though. That was obviously the first album as Testament. They were known as Legacy before, with Zetro on vocals, but changed to Chuck Billy, and great album. I mean, come on.
I figured you'd already tell these fun facts, so I didn't feel like I had to note them. I already knew you were going to tell them. I was like, he's going to say Zetro was in the band. Then they got Chuck Billy, and then they came out. I'd let you do it. You did all the hard work.
A lot of those songs were actually written, and fun fact too, Zetro still writes for Testament. He still writes a lot of their lyrics, if you can believe that.
That's pretty badass.
I know he wrote one for the newest Testament, the Titans of Creation record, so he's got a credit on there. But yeah, he still writes lyrics for Testament. I think that's fucking awesome. And that just shows you the camaraderie of the Bay Area. Great choice, though. I love the guitar work on that album. The solos are amazing. You can't go wrong. And Eric Peterson on rhythm guitar is just, that guy is so underrated.
Oh yeah, but that's just for sure, dude.
So, all right. Well, we're going to go to, like I said, I picked 2 records from this band, and so I couldn't leave out this one because I just love it so much.
I have it in my collection.
This is Exodus with Pleasures of the Flesh. This is the first album with Mr. Zetro on it. Unfortunately, obviously some fun facts about it. It was recorded, a lot of it demoed with Bailoff. So, this is probably the last record one of the last records that he actually wrote on. The last one being, Tempo of the Damned. But couldn't include it. That's like way too new for me. But for just sticking the 80s period, probably the most underrated Exodus record, in my opinion, in their whole catalog, because they never play anything from it. And I love that it's kind of the record that like I associate with, like, it was the one and only that Zetro actually like sang on, instead of having like his signature kind of cartoony voice, kind of like what Bobby did. So to me, it's kind of like what like Taking Over is for Overkill, right? But love it, and I absolutely do love this album cover. So there you go.
Oh, dude, it rules. Oh, this is where we're gonna match you a little bit, and we're gonna show Bonded by Blood from Exodus.
Of course.
I mean, do you have more fun facts you want to say?
Originally, I think the album cover was so graphic, if you can believe it, during those times, that there's actually an alternate album cover for it.
Yeah. Another thing is, this was originally titled A Lesson in Violence, but then they switched it to Bonded by Blood.
Right. That's true too. Absolutely. And I'm still bummed. I mean, imagine if that record actually came out in 84. Holy cow. That would have like changed so much more than what it did. But I would argue it's probably the greatest Bay Area thrash metal record ever.
I could agree with that. Mine's not an original. It's on.
Mine's on gold or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Mine's on the gold vinyl, whatever. So.
Mine's a prettier color then, because Red beats gold. But yeah, this is for me. This is essential to the Bay Area thrash and like helped it become what it is.
Helped define it. It helped
Well, yeah, basically, you know what I mean.
But I would also say that that's probably the first Bay Area record, because I wouldn't count Kill 'Em All as like the first Bay Area record. I'm talking the spirit of Bay Area lives in Bonded by Blood for me.
Pretty much, and they're from there, and Metallica went up there for Cliff, so they were really originally an LA band, but then they moved up and to be with Cliff. So
right, obviously,
so yeah, you're right. You're right with them being like all about the Bay Area because they're all from there.
Correct, and it sounds that way to me though too. So it just encompasses all what the Bay Area represents. And how can you not make your list? I don't know.
I would have been bummed out if it didn't make my list.
But I will say though, and maybe you can agree with this, Paul's vocal performance is absolutely stellar.
Well,
every
flawless,
note he hits, but every note he hits, you feel it. It's just like
it's flawless.
It makes you want to fucking headbang. It makes you want to mosh. It makes you want to fucking just go out and just. It's awesome.
I agree, dude.
Up, so. All right, is it my turn?
It is your turn.
Okay, well, since I ran and grabbed this one, and I know I could, they have a lot of records that I love, but I always start with kind of the beginning on most bands, and this is Megadeth with "Killing Is My Business." Absolutely love it. It just the angst, the anger, the songwriting,
the cheesy album cover.
I love it. I love everything about this record. Obviously, they spent half of it on coke and drugs.
Pretty much.
And the other half was spent on actually recording the record. And I love the sound of this album. I love that when they remixed it and remastered it, the 2004 version, not the one that came out like a year or two ago. But yeah, I absolutely love this record. So
I just love the cheesiness of the cover. I'm glad they eventually switched the logo to what they got, because that one's just a little not thrash.
Yeah, but you can't knock the original though. I love it.
Oh, I'm not trying to knock it. I'm just saying that logo. I prefer this logo than that logo.
And obviously, Dave Ellefson was kind enough to sign it for me, so thank you, sir. But yeah, total classic.
This is where I show another band that I have shown already. Testament.
I love it.
Practice What You Preach. Came out in 1989. This is a very hard find to find on vinyl. This was one of like my most expensive records I've bought. Really hard find. They haven't repressed this. I doubt they will repress it anytime soon.
It's a great choice.
It's one of my favorites. I mean, I like the Legacy a little more, but I feel like this is a really big deal. And plus the silly album cover. Very cheesy.
Can't go wrong with it. So I don't know any fun facts about that record. I just
we changed it to a top 7 in the last minute, so yeah. I didn't write any fun facts about it. I mean, it's a great album from start to finish. Practice What You Preach is one of the best songs they've ever came out with, in my opinion. Absolutely. But I don't have any fun facts for once because we changed it like last minute.
Totally. Well, I'm gonna go back to the Combat days. Obviously, Bonded by Blood was released on it, and the first couple Megadeth records were, but this also was, and I wouldn't technically consider it a thrash metal record. To me, it's a death metal record, the first ever death metal record. To me, not released in '85. This is Possessed with Seven Churches. Love this album, just absolutely game changing in all of extreme music, period, end of story. And I kind of keep forgetting that they're from the Bay Area.
Makes sense. I mean, what's funny is when you look up what I've learned, when you look up 80s thrash, that's one of the top ones that pop up.
And like I said, I consider it a death metal record, so I almost didn't put it in my list, but I was like, you know what? I mean, if we do a death metal release or a top 6 death metal records, this is going to be in there for me. So
pretty much. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Great record.
Larry Lalonde, was taking lessons from Kurt Hammett and also Joe Satriani during this kind of period. So I mean, you can't go wrong with it. It's
Oh yeah,
just
dude.
seven churches, man.
My
The one that
next pick
the one that
is
started it all for extreme music.
all right. My next pick, you might agree that this is very like big. This is to me, this is their best record. Peace sells,
Okay,
but who's
okay.
buying?
I would strongly disagree with that statement, but
What?
go for
Why?
it.
Because you like the first one more, the debut.
Well, because Rust in Peace exists, so I
Dude,
go
but
with
dude,
Rust in
this
Peace.
one, I have a
I
hard
don't.
time picking between Rest in Peace and Peace Sells because yes, it has Marty Freeman on Rest in Peace and it has Nick Menza, which is my favorite lineup. But dude, both of those records from start to finish are phenomenal, man.
Well, I mean, I'll even. I love this album a lot.
Euthanasia.
I love it. I think it's a great. But going back to the Peace Cells, like I almost picked it. I just some fun facts about it. It was the last record for in Megadeth's career. I think on Combat, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
It
And
says
I
the
think.
project was originally handled by Combat, resulting in the original mix of the album by co-produced by Randy Burns. Capitol
Mhm.
Records then bought the rights to it, the album, and the album. Then they hired Paul Laney, is that his name, or Lanny,
Okay.
to mix it himself.
And
I
obviously,
made
that
I made
record.
sure to write that down because I felt that was a very thing that should be told.
Absolutely. And it was a huge record for Megadeth. Huge. I mean,
Oh yeah.
MTV was that video was all over MTV.
Not just
Um,
Wake Up Dead, dude. I love that they're all running in like it's like well, it's a show. Like they're just like running in. Reminds me of like back in I don't know when you go to a show and you're like trying to get to the front to be front.
I really felt like everything was just a step up above Killing Is My Business, and I love Killing Is My Business for what it is. I really feel like the songwriting improved. The bass tone on Peace Cells is one of my absolute favorites. I love Dave Ellison's bass tone. I love the guitar tones. I love Gar's fucking beats and it's a shame we lost it. It's a shame we lost him like due to his substance issues, and I'm sad that we never got another record from him except for like those two to my knowledge.
Yeah, Gar was great, dude. I to me like I don't know. I just feel like yes, Rest in Peace is huge and all, but I feel like Peace Sells is like one of the first songs everyone hears when you get into thrash. That was like the first one I heard, and I felt like so if I had to pick between the first three records, this one I think is the best one that they put out because I think Rest in Peace came out in '90, so I couldn't show it.
Yeah, and I love So Far So Good So What. I'm gonna preference that too. I love that album. Love
I
the
do too. I
production
have that
and
on
love
vinyl.
everything about it. So I just don't own it, or else I would have picked it.
I
um,
own it, but I feel like Peace Cells was a better choice. I own almost every Megadeth record except for Cryptic Writings because I'm not spending $700 to get an okay record, and then I don't have any of the new stuff.
yeah, I'm trying to get an original of the Rust in Peace because there's like 80 different versions, and I'm kind of scared to like get a remix version with Dave
So
singing
yeah,
in 2004 on it. So I don't
sounds
want that
terrible.
version. So
The worst version ever, dude. Sounds terrible.
and people like it. People like the
I
that
hate it.
that re-recorded version of it. And I'm like,
Is it oh my god, I can't think of the
five,
Take No
five
Prisoners ones that he redid the vocals and it
no,
sounds
it was
terrible.
Five Magics. I
Okay,
think it was,
yeah,
oh
I
no,
knew it
and
was
Take
one
No
of them. I get
Prisoners.
it mixed
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, it was. I think he did Five Magics as well. And it was just alternate lyrics and just not good. It's not good.
It just sounds like so you're listening to the record and you're like, oh, this sounds fucking rad. But all of a sudden you get to this track and you're like, dude, this doesn't sound like the rest of the record. What the fuck happened?
Yeah. And what's sad that my favorite version I think of Holy Wars is on that because I like the remixed version of that particular track and it just don't touch a masterpiece. That's
Oh,
all
I
I'm going to
agree.
say.
I hear that they couldn't find the originals and that's why they like re-recorded it or something stupid. But I don't know if that's true.
So don't touch it then if you can't find it. If you can't find
Right?
it, don't touch it.
I
Just
agree.
leave it.
Now it's like now when you go buy a repress, you're like,
Yeah, I don't know
great,
what version it is. So I'm like, I don't want to spend the money to try and get a crappy copy of it. So I
pretty
got to
much.
find the original. And
Good luck. That's like probably $100 something bucks.
I'm sure. Yeah. And I'm always skeptical of the Capitol versions because I don't know what it has on it. Because when Capitol remixed the So Far So Good So What record, there's like horns on it, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And
Oh,
it's
I don't
not
have
good.
that locally. Where's it
Yeah,
at?
so I have to try and get the originals, but
Yeah,
I'm
mine luckily does not have the horn. When I put it on, because I bought it on eBay, I was like, man, this is probably a fucking repress, and they just don't want to tell me. I put it on. I was like, yes, no horns, yes! And I'm like
right.
so excited because who the hell wants to hear horns on a record that doesn't need horns?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Don't touch a masterpiece. To me,
Pretty
all those
much.
records are
Dave,
masterpieces.
leave
So
your records alone. We don't want you touching them anymore. Please don't touch them anymore.
and the re-recording of these boots on "Killing Is My Business" it didn't do him any favors, in my
I know,
opinion.
right? Oh my god, right?
All right. Well, like I said, I preferenced this early in the beginning of the show. Um, this band technically isn't from the Bay Area. I just consider them, associated with the Bay Area. So, and this record ultimately changed my life for the better. Um, and this is Metal Church, and this is The Dark, and arguably one of my top 10 favorite records of all time. First two Metal Church records, you can't go wrong with them. The last album to feature Dave Wayne, Watch Show and Pray, enough said. I mean, I love the guitar tone. I love the drum tone. I love that 80s fucking reverby snare. It rules. So this is kind of a hard record to find.
I
It's kind
bet,
of,
dude.
which is sad, but obviously for some fun facts, Metallica got him signed to their label, basically telling Elektra, you need to sign this band. And I'm so glad that they did because this is my ultimate all-time favorite metal band, period, end of story. So this is Metal Church. This is The Dark. Go pick it up.
When you're pulling that up, I thought it was gonna be the grandma covered one again. I was like,
No,
oh my god.
no, they're not from the Bay
So
Area.
that's why I started laughing because I was like, oh no, the grandma one again. Oh no, what are we gonna do? But dude, that is a fucking great record. And as everyone should know, that is your favorite fucking one of your favorite fucking bands. We're not counting Mahogany Rush because
Of course. There you go.
that fucking record is like epic, dude. Hey, grandma, can you hold an 8 ball at the beach and I take a picture,
In your
please?
bathrobe, in your
Right.
jogger's uniform. Yeah, dude, but that, like I said, though, every record I'm showing you to me is amazing. I love all these records, so can't go wrong. Anyway, what do you got? Oh my, wow, what is that a bootleg? Like
It
a
is a
demo?
bootleg, but I felt I could count it because that's why I sent you that picture. I was like, it says July '82. I could still use it, right? And you're like, yep. And I was like, cool, just making sure. But yeah, it says, as you can see, hold on the back, it says that Dave Mustaine is on this. And then,
Okay, so it must be all the demos or something.
so it's James Hetfield, Lars Ulrich, Dave Mustaine, and Ron, but they have Ron as the name, but they have a fucking Cliff in the photo.
Well, it's a bootleg.
Definitely a bootleg for sure, dude. They don't know what they're talking about, but this says it come out in I almost said 1882. Well, 1982, and it has Hit the Lights, Mechanics, Motor Breath, Seek and Destroy, Metal Militia, Jump in the Fire, Phantom Lords, and Hit the Lights.
Yeah, I think that record. I think that's just like the No Life to Leather demo that they just put on a vinyl, and so that's good. I like that. I thought you were gonna choose Kill 'Em All for some reason.
No, that's why I sent you that little picture, and I kind of covered it, but you can see the word Lars. So I was like, he won't know what I'm talking about. He just gonna know it's Metallica. That's all.
Right. So that's good. I like it.
Metal up your ass.
And obviously, some fun facts. That's the original title and album cover for Kill 'Em All, but the record label didn't like it. So there you go.
I think I like this album cover more than the actual Kill 'Em All cover. Come on, there's like a toilet, and they're like shoving something up your ass, basically.
But the stores wouldn't carry that album.
I know, but I'm just saying.
But they'll cover, they'll carry an album with blood and all over it. So who knows? Go figure. All righty. So I know you had shown this earlier, but I mean, like I said, another game-changing record for me. And to me, this is their best album, in my opinion. And this is Master of Puppets, Metallica. I mean, Some fun facts too that Emily missed. So if you can show your copy, because mine kind of has the. If you can show the back of it, yeah. So you have, yeah. So I don't want to have to open mine, but
Okay, I
on the
can open
back
that when you want.
on the back of it, if you can, so all the pictures on the back they're taken from the like the day of the green. So Kurt's photo right there is actually taken after somebody threw a ham sandwich at him. And I remember reading that in an interview, and Kurt explaining like, so somebody threw like a sandwich at him, knowing that he kind of like was vegetarian or something like that, and that's the photo that actually got taken after, like immediately after somebody threw a ham sandwich at him and hit his headstock. So I just thought that was a fun fact too. But
I
to
think
me,
this is
dude,
my
look
favorite
up.
photo of them, actually.
Oh yeah, at the Metallica Mansion there.
Yeah.
Dude, I think that's my favorite photo of Hetfield on the back. If you can show that one more time, it's all four of them. But if you look at Hetfield, he just looks so pissed. I mean, he just looks like he doesn't want to be there, and just full of piss and vinegar. And I love it. That's the Metallica I want. Is that specific one? And like I said, every note in this album rules.
I agree, dude. This fucking record is amazing from start to finish. As you said, everything's like dead on, of course. If I could
Right,
get
absolutely. Absolutely. So, as my microphone stand breaks, that's fine. I'll fix that later.
Yeah, I'm fixing this later. Fuck it.
Yeah.
So what do you think my next one is? I saved the best for last. In my opinion, that's my favorite of all time.
It's got to be Violence Eternal Nightmare. Of course.
Debut, motherfucker!
I want that record so bad. I need to
Good luck. It's a very expensive find, and it's a hard find. Like all Violence records. Shit, I even have Torture Tactics over here, but that's not associated. That's right there. All their records are hard to find.
And I don't know why. I don't know why that is.
Man. I blame their label because I know Pressing the Masses is with Atlantic Records, and Atlantic Records, dude, Phil Demmel's even put online, I fucking have contacted them. They won't reach back. Here's the number. Fucking bug the fuck out of them. I want my record back, basically. And I'm like, yeah, I want a pressing of that vinyl. I don't want to spend $300-400 on that vinyl.
Well, you'd think though, like, this is the best. Right. Well, you'd think though, if you had that much demand for it, that they would do something about it.
They don't care. It's Atlantic. They just don't. But yeah, this is their debut record. Has Rob Flynn from Machine Head on it, as everyone should know. And then they still have basically most of the rest of the band except for Rob Flynn and is it Dean or yeah, it's Dean.
Yeah.
It's all weird.
Yeah, I love the fact that album has 7 tracks and they're all amazing.
What I read is on another copy they have it where they have more tracks. Yeah, this has 7 tracks. I think it has 2 added tracks on a different copy of this. I didn't really read to it because I was like bummed out. I was like, thanks, guys.
And obviously Ed Repka is super present in all of our releases because obviously he did the Peace Cells one, he did the the Eternal Nightmare one, and back in the day everybody used Ed Repka for their covers.
I just love this cover. Their fucking logo rules. Everything about this, plus Sean Killian's fucking vocals. Oh my god! Like,
yeah, let's touch upon that if you don't mind. What do you actually think of his vocals, especially like if let's go back to what 87, 88 when that record came out.
88.
What hypothetically what would you have thought if you heard those vocals? Because there's nothing like them.
It's definitely different. I think I would have still liked them regardless of how different it is. For me, what I go for with bands is very I like it sounding a little different than everyone sounding the same. That's why I don't have Slayer in my thing. All their records for me sound the same. But with this band, Sean's vocals, you could never you're like, oh fuck, every time you're like, oh my god. Just the way he talks and says everything. The only thing I'm bummed out he's not wearing a turtleneck.
You and your turtlenecks there.
Sean, bring back the turtleneck. It gets the girls going. Bring back the turtleneck. Imagine next show he's wearing a turtleneck. Just kidding.
That'd be amazing. I don't know a lot of fun facts, especially about that record either. So please forgive me on that. But
There was
what
not
I
enough when I looked it up. I mean, if Andy Ford was here, he would be like, "You guys are missing all of it. There's this." Because, as you know, he's a big fan of violence too, and he knows everything about them.
well, we all are fans of violence. I love it.
I mean, yeah. I start my Mondays off with a daily dose of violence on my show.
Absolutely.
Not daily, Monday dose. Sorry, Monday dose of violence on my show.
Favorite track on that album for me is Calling in the Corner. Absolutely love that record. Love that song. The riff. It just the meaty like guitar tone they have on that album is I don't know how to explain it. It's awesome.
Incredible, dude. My favorite song on that record is Bodies because it's like bodies on bodies on bodies on bodies, and you're like, yes, fuck yeah.
And then I love how it starts with Eternal Nightmare. That opening riff is just epic. So good.
Oh, dude. Same with Serial Killer. Fucking that song rules. I think I played that as the first song on my show yesterday. Fuck, dude, like I said, this record from start to finish, same with Depressing the Masses, but that's 1990s anyways, and I can't get it anyways. Amazing from start to finish.
Yeah, you really can't go wrong with especially the first two Violence albums.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! I'm excited for the EP next year, dude. If it's like Oppressing the Masses in this,
hopefully, I'm hopeful for it.
I'm hopeful.
All right, so I saved my all-time favorite Bay Area band for last, especially in the thrash metal world. And there goes my camera right there. Hold on, let me fix this thing. There you go.
Dude, that just everything's falling apart on you, man.
Rules. I know I have my mic stand, the camera, so
next to your headphone.
I know. I guess it's just bad karma, but anyway,
don't blow your mind too much with this record.
This is blind. This is Blind Illusion, and this is the Sane Asylum. Absolute fucking classic. I wish more people talked about him. Mark Biederman playing and singing at the same time. Absolutely mind blowing. There's nothing like it in the Bay Area. This is a technical thrash metal record. It's got Les Claypool on bass. It's got Larry Lalonde on guitar. Obviously, that's what most people, why most people kind of care about it, which is a shame, because to me they're not the standout players on it. Mark Biederman to me is the real hero on this album. I just absolutely love everything about it. They even have a choir of children on a Metamorphosis of a Monster, which is the last track. Yeah, and Bay Area, right there, Blind Illusion. So
I love Andy's story where he's like, yeah, we were at the documentary you guys covered, and he's like, Biederman comes up and he sits down and wants to sit with us for the rest of the show, and you're like, what? Biederman was this the whole time?
Well, yeah, it'd be like for you. It'd be like if, I don't know, Sean Keelan was like, "Hey, Andy, let's go hang," and you're like, let's go hang. This band means a lot to me, dude.
I can't handle that right now. That's too much excitement to think of if that actually happened.
Well, then now you know what I was feeling.
I'd be like a little kid on the monkey bars, like, fuck yeah, Sean's hanging out with us.
Totally. Well, no, and that day was hugely special for me. I'm going to get Mark on and hopefully talk some Blind Illusion, the whole career.
That's gonna be fucking amazing, because I know he's gonna probably bring up his stuff with where he's gonna work with Cliff.
Yeah, and either the Ghost Kings or whatever. That's see, you pay attention. Another fun fact too is Kurt Hammond actually, I think, produced this album. He had something to do with this album.
I remember that. And then they didn't care. Was it they didn't care to get his name on the record because what was the reason? There was a reason behind it.
It had some legality thing to it. And also too,
helped us.
Also too, Andy Ford is we got to mention this too. He's thanked on this album too.
Isn't he thanked on this album though too?
That I have no idea.
I know he said I think it's Oppressing the Masses for sure he's thanked on, but I think he said he's thanked on this record too. But
well, regardless, regardless, that Blind Illusion album rules. So, and that's my ultimate favorite Bay Area band.
And another thing you can notice, you guys just had him on Razor Radio last Thursday.
No, isn't it weird? I had Frank Marino and Mark Wiedemann in the same week. That's
Your
awesome.
two favorite people in ever. So it's gonna be cool if you get them on Poppet's Corner for sure.
Yeah, it'll be amazing. I can't wait. But yeah, that's gonna do it for us here. And Emily, any closing words? I'll let you close out the episode. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in and send in your list. I'm sure we'd love to see it and see what we missed. I could have put in some Forbidden. I just unfortunately do not own any, and
I don't either.
tons of great albums that we missed. What are your favorites? So Emily, I'll let you sign
My
off.
thing is, everyone after the show should go listen to this record and listen to some fucking amazing violence. That's my closing fact. Go listen to some Eternal Nightmare.
I love it. Another episode of What's Happening